Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. I'm going to do the Shanti part of this. Om Shanno Mitraha Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvayarma Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnu Rurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Vavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are at verse 7 of section 3, and we saw that we already finished the 5 different great Mahasanyojan, they call it, or combination or conjunctions in the universe, different ones. And they started with the universe, then it was luminaries in the universe, then it was the knowledge was there, and then it was progeny, and then it was individual person, the speech. So this particular verse is talking about, they call it phalam, यानी उससे क्या fruit मिलेगा. On one hand, I know Bhagavad Gita says, don't have your eyes on the fruit, but uska bhi ek, we have done complete analysis of it. It's not saying that don't plan. Everybody, without desire, we cannot function. It was just saying that while you are working, you should not have eyes on the fruit. But anyway, that's besides. But here they are talking about that these great combination, and then if you understand them as explained in this Upanishad, you get all the material benefits also. So you remember in the beginning, they're talking about beginning students, and these guys are going to be householders. When they graduate, they're going to go get married, have children, and be the householder, a lot of them. Some might become sannyasi, but majority of them. For that, you need wealth. You need, like बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में कहावत है, भूखे पेट न होई गोपाला. So they're assuring them, hey, if you do this, तुमको सब कुछ मिलेगा दुनिया में. And there is a whole science behind it, why they will get it also. And the same thing goes well when we did the not Kathopanishad. What did we do before that? Mandukya Upanishad. Usme, they said, murky upasana. If somebody does, then they get all the material things also besides. Because our teacher used to say that nobody want to be bhukha nanga, right? Everybody wants, whether you are sadhu or not, you want enough to eat, you want the shelter, you want everything. And our shastras provide all of that. Nobody needs to be a beggar. That's what it is. So if you do the way they are saying, that's the most important thing. So that's where you have to keep that in mind. And so they are saying this upasana. Now, coming back to the word upasana, we had talked about what it actually means. It means taking some object, superimposing something higher ideal on it. That's why when we take Shiv Linga, it's just a round stone, but you are thinking of Shiva in that. So you are taking a higher ideal and superimposing upon it. This is easier for my mind to handle. So it's if we continue with this upasana, it makes our mind pure and subtle, gives us a concentration of the mind. It helps us with that. And then here Swamiji is going to explain that there are 4 different parts of this. When we read the Swamiji's commentary, then we will go into it. And in these 4 parts, he's talking about the final part, because the other 3 is already dealt with, And so basically in this verse, he's saying that when this upasana is done diligently, one acquires a mental strength. Why don't we first do I'll just read the Sanskrit part and then we will go with that. So it says, verse 7, Iti ima mahan sangitam ya eva meta mahasangihita vyakhyata veda sandhiyate prajaya pashubhihi brahma varchasena adhyadena suvarnena lokena. Iti is thus, ima is these, mahasangita, these great blendings, or conjunctions. Here is he, who. Evam is thus, eta is these, mahasangita, the great blendings. Vyakhyata, expounded. जो यहाँ पर बताया गया है, that means. Veda means to understand. Sandhiyate is united with what? Prajaya is with progeny, Prashubhi with cattle, Brahma Varchasena with the glory of the holy luster. Is something higher also you get. Anna Dena with food and the like, you'll have enough to eat. Suvarnena Lokena with joys of heavenly world. You can there are two ways you can look at it. Your life will become like Swarg, this earth, or even later on you will acquire Swarg. Both ways are okay. So coming back to this verse now, what is it saying? So it's just saying that if you follow this Upasana diligently, you will acquire mental strength. Okay? And the result will be integration of the personality. And once the personality gets integrated and you get mental strength, imagine that person will have no problem in getting what they want in the world. And I give this example of Ramdev Baba that, in India, there are two different groups. One support him a lot and other think, why is a sadhu doing a business? He started because he wanted the Indian stuff, Indian herbs and things and all to be introduced to the whole world, including India. But the man is so brilliant, whatever he puts his hands on becomes gold because he has integrated personality. So integrated personality is needed even to acquire something in the world. If you interview any successful person in this world, in whatever endeavor they are, they have an integrated personality. And I don't know much about cricket at all, but because I teach 10th grade and there is one or two people who are passionate about cricket, they told me this. There is some cricketer called Rinku Singh. I don't know, whoever watches cricket, some new guy, 25-year-old. And lately, there was some match and they were losing or something, and the last 5 balls that he hit, they were continued sixes. Chakka mara usne. Or they won the game. Imagine, one fellow, in the end, he gets 6 runs 5 consecutive times. So whatever, 30 runs. So they interviewed him and they said, what were you thinking? Were you thinking of winning? He said, I was thinking nothing. I was just focusing on the ball. How to hit the ball. That's all I'm good at. That's all I did. So some people, how did you do it and all? Hey, he had the skill and he just applied his skill. Simple. Because he had integrated personality. Integrated personality means while doing your job, not thinking of past and present. Past and future. Being in the present and not being this feverish in the present also, because that whole verse we did in chapter 3. So if a person is going to have an integrated personality by doing these upasanas, be sure he will be successful in the world. That's where this has come from. And then Swamiji was explaining that the students are going to the Grihastha ashram. So they will need all these things, So they are just telling them that, hey, don't worry about your material gain and enjoyment. Tumko sab kuch milega in abundance. And then, then this is how they will be more tempted to continue their upasana. And coming back in the worldly sense, we have the 3 gunas, right? Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. Somebody is extremely tamasic. He can't even get out of bed. Okay? उसको तुम बोलो कि तुम मेडिटेशन करो, कुछ पूजा पाठ करो, कभी नहीं कर पाएगा वो. लेकिन उसको थोड़ा लालच दो. Hey, you want to eat good food? He'll say yes. Then get up and do this work a little bit. Then you'll make money. Then you can buy your burger or whatever, Then he will get up. Yeah? Then he will start doing. And then the next step is, he'll be doing and then he'll acquire. Then he'll come out of his laziness. Then it'll become a good habit. Then he'll continue. And then one day he will say, I'm still not happy. I'm doing, like a rat race every day. And then he will have an inquiry into, hey, I want to do something higher. So that's where these students are. They have just barely begun to learn the Upasana, and the teacher is telling them, continue with this Upasana, you will get all the material gain because your personality will get integrated. It's a hidden thing in this, not directly mentioned, but that's what it is. Any question or comment on this? I can read the Hindi part and then we can discuss. So Hindi में इसको translate करेंगे because I love this, the way it reads in Hindi. ये 5 महासंयोजन, ये 5 महान रहस्य हैं. मनुष्य जब ऐसे बताए गए इन 5 रहस्यों को समझ लेता है और जो उन पर ध्यान लगाता है वह समृद्धि पाता है. उसे संतान मिलती है, उसे धन मिलता है, उसे ब्रह्म ज्ञान का वैभव प्राप्त होता है, उसके खाने के लिए पर्याप्त धन होगा और अपने निवास के लिए स्वर्ग उपलब्ध होगा. उसे यहाँ पृथ्वी लोक में और बाद के लोकों में भी समृद्धि मिलेगी. That's what it is. Okay? And यहाँ पर लिखा है the person gets cattle because in olden days cattle meant dhan because that's how they gained money is through cattle. That's why it says. So that we have to adjust a little bit of thinking. You know, in today's world, the teacher might say, hey, you will get your iPhone, you will get your nice car. यहाँ पर cattle बोला है, okay? You will get everything that you want. Any question on this? Any comment? Anybody wants to add anything? Okay, so looks like it was clear to everybody. Okay, let's read. Any volunteers to read?
I can read.
Yeah, Naresh.
I can read.
Yeah, go ahead.
These are called the great blendings. He who understands them as expounded here becomes united with the progeny, cattle, food, and the like, and with the glory of the holy lustre, wealth, and heavenly graces. Additionally, a prescription for the karma or an upasana must have 4 limbs. A description of the presiding deity, which indicates to us the nature of the karma, utpatti vidhi. B, a detailed instruction on all the acts that we have to do in the ritual, viniyoga vidhi. C, an exhaustive enumeration of the qualities necessary in making one fit to pursue the indicated ritualism, adhikara vidhi, and D, the promise of the results that will be accrued when the ritualism is with faith and devotion diligently pursued, phala vidhi.
Phala vidhi. So he just describing the 4 different limbs of any kind of pursuit that we do. It can be yajna we do, or it can be upasana, or any different thing. So one is the basically, hey, why am I doing this? Nature of the karma. And uske andar presiding deity bola hai. Agar, for example, a very simple example that Raja Dashrath did Putra Kameshti Yagya because he wanted a son. So then there is a particular deity he has to worship. Okay? For rain, they do certain things, and I think that Kamlaji does all these beautiful yagnas, for good vibrations and other. What the purpose? Which deity you are? So that's where Utpatti Vidhi. And the detailed instruction on how to do the thing. And right now we don't follow strictly all those things, but in olden days when they used to do the yagna, उसके बड़े नियम होते थे कि भाई जब ये करो तो ऐसे नहाओ, इतने बजे उठो, you cannot be you have to be celibate for those 7 days, whatever, and then you cannot be angry. And that's why those rishi munis, they could not give shrap or get angry, and those 7 days that they did this yagna. I'm just giving examples. So that's the vidhi. And in science also, hey, like if you have, like my husband is your standard operating procedure. If you don't follow that, you won't get the results. Same thing. Yeah. So, and then the third one is adhikari vidhi. Who is adhikari means who deserves, how do I say it? If this person is ready for it or not. The quality necessary to making. It's like an entrance exam. Hey, you want to do this procedure, you should have a certain personality. If you can't even get up in time, you won't be able to go. It's like going to school, college. school mein to khair dande padenge if you don't go up to high school. They will give you tardy and all that. College, you give them $100,000 and don't come. They don't care. Nobody takes your attendance there because it's your money. You want to do it, you do it. That's what it is. So whether you're fit to do this or not. Okay? That's adhikar. And the last part is the phala vidhi is what do you get out of it? It's like if you go for a college, they will say, hey, you do this correctly for 4 years, I will give you the bachelor's degree. Or for a PhD, you do this research, original research, and you write your thesis, you do your thing, and then I will give you. That's exactly what phala is over here. So what will happen with this? That's what the 4 limbs of upasana. And he's saying in this particular verse, they are telling you the phala, that what you will get out of this if you do it correctly. That's what he's talking about.
We now find that almost all these items are given here. All these items are given here in this upasana upon the limbs of compound words. Here in this portion of now under discussion, we read a complete description of the fruits that are gained by such a pursuit.
So we saw already what the fruits, And we know that the compound words, they're talking about the whole, we know the whole thing that what we did in last so many weeks. Yes. Go ahead.
All karmas, sacred and secular, produce in their reaction some fruit or the other. In ritualism, when the divine acts are pursued with an intention to gain the fruits thereof, the individual, in proportion to his diligence and acquired mental strength, comes to enjoy the fruits. But the same ritualism, when pursued without a demand for the fruits thereof, result in an efficient integration of the upasaka's inner personality.
Yeah, so he that's what I was trying to say, that what they're talking about is that you can begin with a fruit, hey, this is my desire to get this, but while doing that, your personality will get integrated. And it's the same thing like I was telling you that they used to say in Vedas, the 80% of the bulk of Vedas is how to fulfill your desire, because that's what people want in this world. But they are saying if you do this method, you will get disciplined. Your mind will become a little purer, and then you may start a questioning for the higher self. And if you think about, going to college, studying is one aspect of it, but you learn a lot of other skills there too. How to become independent, how to do this, how to do that, how to lead a life. So it's the same principle apply over here also. In the end, if you do this upasana for the highest, then obviously you will gain a lot more. But even if you don't go to the highest directly, if you go with the desire, it's better than doing nothing. It can lead you to the highest. That's how we have to look at this whole thing.
Explain to me, Umaji. I still didn't get it because I read it when pursued with a demand. Okay, otherwise you're getting it when you pursue in the right way. You get all what you need. You get the phala. And when you pursue with the demand, what are you demanding something?
Of course, like that's what I was saying, that अभी अपने जितने भी यज्ञ वगैरह करते हैं, अभी भी जो करते हैं, and Kamla ji is here too. There are संकल्प लेते हैं ना कि मेरे को ये मिले वो मिले something. That's called going with the demand. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
okay.
And the highest way of doing it is, remember the Jnani we talked about in Bhagavad Gita. There were 4 different kind of devotees. Yes. Who was the highest? The Jnani, because he already knows theoretically that I am one with Brahman, but he doesn't have that experience. So he's doing it for that experience. That is doing it without a phala in some ways. So you.
But he's getting everything once he does the right way. He gets all that he needs for his life. Okay?
Yes.
All demands are everything is fulfilled.
Yes. Yes.
So what is it? Where is the demand coming from? If he's fulfilled, if he's satisfied, then is he looking for something else after that? Is that a
no?
demand?
He's not looking for. In the highest person surrenders so much to Bhagwan. He say, I just want that experience, and I'm leaving it to you. Whatever I need, you will provide me. No problem. And there was one saint, okay, that we met. He lives in California, in Santa Barbara. Vidya Dishananda, his name is. He used to be a IIT graduate, then he became a saint. And he had done some tapasya on the Himalayas. So one time somebody asked him, hey, when you're sitting in the Himalayas over there, who gives you food? Your body still needs food, right? So he said, he usually doesn't talk about those things in a big gathering, but there were only few people. So he said, okay, he will answer. So he said, you will be surprised that kahan se food aata hai. There will be a bowl sitting and some bakri will come and give the milk in that. We may not believe it, but he said the milk might even get frozen for 2 days because I'm not having it, but it's there for me if I want it. So Bhagwan takes care of you if you surrender. Remember, he gave the promise in chapter 9 that if you surrender to me, I'll take care of your needs. So that's the highest kind of thing. But earlier, before that, any type of endeavor you take in this world, you take for a desire to be fulfilled, no?
Yes.
So that's what he's saying, that you do that, but if you do it diligently and correctly and the way the Vedas are telling you to do, तुम्हारे desire fulfill होगी, abundance में होगी, और साथ साथ में तुम्हारी personality भी integrate होती जाएगी.
So is that what we are trying to understand with the demand, that then he looks for something higher because all his demands otherwise are fulfilled with the way it's prescribed?
That depends on the individual कि उसमें क्या जागृत होता है. Like some people, may need another 5 lifetimes of luxury, before they start thinking of God. And another may say, okay, I have everything that I desire, but I'm still not feeling fulfilled. So there's something lacking. And what is that? And then he will pursue when the pursuit will come, exactly we don't know. But if you follow the prescription of the Vedas or the scriptures, even to fulfill your material desire, it can lead you to the higher.
That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you would stop because it fulfilled,
That's what I'm saying, that it depends on the individual.
Yeah, individual, you're right.
Yeah, it depends on the individual. But
I think, and I know by example, what happens is that you start with this because you want a material desire to be fulfilled. And then once that happens, you are so impressed with it that faith develops more and more. And you continue with it, and then without your knowing it, your this thing starts rising. And when you move from one sphere to the next, you don't realize it happens very smoothly. That I have realized. I mean, I can give an example of that.
No, very nice, yes.
About my son, who started Rigved ka, किसी ने बताया कि exam अच्छा होगा, ये होगा, वो होगा. So he started, obviously, he was not spiritually into the thing itself, the prayer itself. But then वो हो गया, तो फिर वो भी हो गया. तो फिर वो अब रोज सुबह नहा के सबसे पहले हाथ जोड़ के अगरबत्ती जला के उसको पढ़ता है, and now he has nothing to ask for, but he does it anyway.
Very beautiful example. Very nice. Yes, actually that's exactly what, if you put that verse that we did in Bhagavad Gita and this together, that's what you get. Yeah.
So I that is what I saw in his case. So I think that is probably what happens. It's like शुरू में तो भगवान जी आपको थोड़ा लालच देते हैं, ये करो तो ये मिल जाएगा, ये. Then finally, you just feel so good doing it कि आप ऐसे ही करते हैं.
Very good, very good. In fact, somebody asked that Satya Sai Baba, remember he used to do miracles? That kabhi ye diya, kabhi wo diya. So, but he was very highly spiritual person. So, किसी ने बोला कि भाई, you are capable of giving such high, why do you give these trinkets to all these people? So he said, I give them what they want so that they come to me, then I will give them what I want to give. So these trinkets and all, they were very small thing in his life. But he had to do that because otherwise कोई जाएगा ही नहीं. जो lower प्रकृति के लोग हैं, but अगर किसी का थोड़ा सा कुछ जादू जैसा करके दे दिया या उसकी इच्छा पूरी कर दी, तो फिर वो उसको faith आ जाता है. Exactly what you said कि भाई चलो अभी this thing really works, and then he will attach more and more to it, and then he said that he gives them the Brahma Gyan to them. So there are several ways to look at it, but that was a very good point that what Miraji did said.
Basically, you are saying that your desires then become faith later.
Desire, because of the faith, if I want something, I will put all my effort, I'll have Shraddha in it, and the Shraddha gets stronger because results come and all that. And then, because I have an integrated personality, a relatively purer mind, I can go for the higher things now. Then I become Jigyasu.
At that moment, your desires are gone. You have a faith that I'll be taken care of.
You can say that way too. True. And we know that, a lot of people, they will go for all the material desire and all, but a point comes in their life that they say, okay, now I have everything.
Yeah.
But, what is next? Right? So, and then they start doing charity or something, and, and then go into some more sattvic things. Yeah. Some people are not born sattvic. For them, those desires don't matter. The people who are very, very renunciate by their nature, but other people, even if you have a desire and you pursue them correctly with the right upasana, will lead you to the higher. That's what the whole conclusion is.
There's one more paragraph.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Here this Upanishad is an advice by the rishis to their students, many of whom are yet to go back to the householder's life and live in society. Therefore, to show them the material gains that they can come to enjoy through a diligent pursuit of upasana is certainly quite encouraging. They will be tempted to continue these exercises and thus slowly grow to a greater stature in their inner constitution of mind and intellect.
See, that summarized it, the whole thing, what we were discussing. That, because most of them are going to become householder to show them the material gain. But also what is going to happen is that if you continue the exercise, you will grow in greater stature in the inner constitution of mind and intellect. And that is a prerequisite for spiritual path, integrated mind and intellect, right? So by doing this upasana in the correct manner to gain even material wealth, it can help you to integrate your mind, and then you have to jump higher. That's the whole idea. So our shastras are not against material gains. That's why in Bhagavad Gita also the last verse tells you that you will gain material as well as the other one, both of them, by pursuing this path. And, we know, Tejo Menanji one time made a comment. He said that, see, if you do a seva of Krishna, meaning, teach Bhagavad Gita and all these things and all this, material, हम लोग को तो क्या 5-star लोग बोलते कि 5-star में जाके रहो, Mercedes लेके आते हैं हमारे लिए, अच्छा खाना मिलता है हमको, कृष्ण भगवान देख रहे हैं कि नहीं हमारा सब कुछ, So that's what it is, that if you do some good stuff, the universe will take care of you. No doubt about it. You will not going to be left. And that's why I told you, this person even said, Himalaya pe jaake, And then there is a whole story of our, who was the guru of Chinmayananji? Tapovan Maharaj. The whole story, walking in the Himalayas karke book hai. He said that at one point, he got very hungry. And he said, okay, God, I want to see मेरे लिए कैसे खाना लेके आते हो आप यहाँ पे, मेरे को तो भूख लगी है अभी, And then while he's thinking that, this one fellow walks with a dabba and he says, Swami ji, ये खाना खाइए. So what? So I don't know exact story, but exact same thing happened in Autobiography of Yogi also. That, the fellow, I think it was Yogananda who had challenged his cousins that, hey, I'm going to go take a trip without any money. And they thought he was crazy. And they said, okay, if you can pull this through, I'll become your devotee. And then he goes. And then when they are hungry and they are sitting and they say, where the khana will come? And this one person brings the khana and they say, why did you bring khana to us? Oh, I got a dream last night that take this. There were 2 boys sitting over there, take the khana for them. Somebody may say, hey, I don't believe in this, but hey, he's not lying about it. And there was another occasion, I think somebody cooked a khana for some royalty or somebody like that, and that person never came. And वो खाना इन लोग को मिला. और अपने हिंदी में तो कहावत भी है, दाने दाने पे लिखा खाने वाले का नाम. You know, so if you surrender to the higher, he has a whole universe at his. He will send somebody. Like our teacher used to say, Bhagwan doesn't need to take avatar and come down. He has to just give a little dream, little feeling of somebody, and do it. Like, you know, this is crazy, but our son is moving, right? So the previous house is on a slightly main road. Okay, I mean there are a lot of cars pass, and he had a lot of things to donate. So you know, we had seen some other neighbors do it. They just put out on it free item, you know. And so I said, let's try this. You know, we have never done it. Let's put it in front of some small furniture that we could move that he wanted to just get rid of. We put the free. तो पहले 5-6 घंटे तो कोई नहीं आया. We were getting dejected. फिर एक Mexican lady आई, and she said she could hardly speak English, and she was so happy to get everything because she said she just moved and in her apartment there was nothing. वो इतनी दुआएं देके इतनी वो करके वो सब ले गई वो. And you know, means उसके लिए सब अच्छा था. So it's like, to me, right time, right person came. That was the best donation, right? Then you give it to the goodwill and all is supposed to be business, I heard. You know, it looks like a donation, but they actually make money out of it. Fine, I don't care about that. But this one was हम लोग को इतना अच्छा लगा ना वो, the way she was like so happy. उसके चेहरे से लग रहा था कि उसको जैसे कि उसकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई कि मेरे को टेबल चेयर ये सब कहाँ मिलेगा, और उसको सब मिल गया. Because it's the universe that put everything together, you know. That's what it is. So anyway, any other question, comment? Okay, I can close the class here. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.